Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live Your Yes Life. This is a podcast where we support you to go from actually living the life of your dreams, which we call your yes life, instead of just dreaming and wishing and hoping that maybe one day you'll have it. We are your co-hosts. I am Kaela Jetta, and this is my co-host.
I'm Lisa Limita. If this is your first time hearing us, welcome.
We're not only the co-founders of this podcast, but our business, which is called Rise Leadership Circle. And we coach entrepreneurs to live their dream lives and make money that funds it. So we have a really fun podcast episode for you. We actually just finished recording a really awesome interview where we asked each other questions back and forth for a summit that is probably over by the time that you're seeing this. But after we recorded it, we said, we want people on our podcast to hear that because it's a great way to get to know us together. So enjoy. We're going to share with you that full interview. It's full of such juicy nuggets, takeaways, and a way for you to really hear about who we are and how we have built this amazing, successful business and help our clients do as well.
Absolutely. Take a listen. And if you listen to this podcast and you want to go deeper, right now we're offering something called a Yes Life activation call. And so if you'd like to have a strategy session with us where we can actually help you figure out what might be a block that's in your way from having your yes life and actually identify what is that next right action step you need to take, you can book your free call below. So right now we're opening up a few sessions every single month, and you'll find the link wherever you're listening to this podcast, and we'd love to talk to you.
Enjoy.
All right, let's dive in. So Kaela, you've been an entrepreneur since you were 25 years old. But your approach to business is far from traditional. What inspired you to take this path, and what was the moment you knew entrepreneurship was your calling?
I feel like my answer can be very layered. Like, probably you knew that my calling was entrepreneurship from an early age when I was just like stubborn and obstinate and unwilling to do what I was told and just like, I'm gonna do it my way, I'm gonna figure it out. And like, I had a good friend text me recently. She was like, were you a Girl Scout and did you sell Girl Scout cookies? And I was like, you know it. Like, I was the queen of Girl Scout cookie sales. So I think I got my start in entrepreneurship very early, on what's the word I'm looking for? Unofficially, but still very early. Throughout high school and throughout college, I just loved connecting people with resources that they need, be that a cookie or a t-shirt, like whatever fundraiser thing I was selling. So I think that I got the start very early, but official entrepreneurship, yes, started when I was 25. And again, what was happening for me is that I was working in corporate America and coming up against a lot of red tape that corporations just need. They have to have rules and regulations and systems in place so that their thousands of employees can move the needle. And that was really frustrating for me because I wanted to run and it felt like the company was asking me to walk. And so I could see that somebody with as much fire energy and passion and like, let's make this happen quick as me just needed to be doing my own thing. And plus, I had a really great example. I mean, you were an entrepreneur and I saw both the highs and the lows of it, but I had a lot of confidence that I could do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like you were born for this. I would agree with that. It's so natural for you, and you have such a gift with people and like such a heart for people too. And I think that's a big piece of it. So you have many gifts. One of the biggest ones, I think, is your ability to help people really commit to their yes life, as we say. So what does that mean to you? And why do so many people actually resist saying yes to what they really want?
Okay, so to me, your yes life is the life that you desire for yourself. It's free from shoulds and obligations and, well, this is how it's always been done, and this is what everyone in my family is doing, and these are what all my friends are doing, and even this is what an old version of me wanted. And instead, this is what the version of me now. And when I tap into my higher self or my future self, I can see that that's what that version of me deeply desires. And so your yes life is your soul calling. It's the experiences of life that you know are a match for you because they are a match for you. And it doesn't matter if they don't make sense, and it doesn't matter if you have spent your years planning and prepping for it. It's just what you know is it's really what you must be a yes for. And there's a book that I recommend all the time, and I'll recommend it here. The book is called The Crossroads of Should and Must. It's by an author named Elle Luna. Definitely get the hard copy because she's an artist and it's beautiful. And I think that really speaks to, sometimes we feel like, well, I should go down this path because I got this degree and I'm paying off college debt, or I should go into this business because it's what my family's always done, versus I must XYZ. I must be an entrepreneur because it's what my soul is asking me to do. Or
Mm.
I must buy this house because I know it is where my soul is asking me to live. And a lot of times our must don't make sense on paper and they don't make sense with our bank account as it currently is, but it will when we follow that. And so, why do so many people resist saying yes to what they want? Is because we have a lot of conditioning, like years, lifetimes, millennia of conditioning that says you really need to follow the straight and narrow. And this is the path for you. And maybe somebody laid out a path for us, or maybe we're afraid of what happens if we deviate from the normal or the traditional. Or the other thing that really shows up of why people resist saying yes to what they really want is because it puts us in the driver's seat of our own life. And that is scary. It is actually a lot easier to say, well, so and so in my life, what do you think about this? Oh, you're not sure if it's a good idea? Okay, then I won't, because then we can share in the ownership of it. Or, oh, you also think it's a good idea? Okay, then let's go, because if it doesn't work, I don't have the full responsibility. We're in this together. And, it's scary to put the ownership and the responsibility of saying, I know that this is what I want and I'm going to choose it and I'm going to show up and follow through. Because I think follow through is the hardest part.
Mm. I feel like everyone listening in, they're likely probably entrepreneurs, maybe seasoned entrepreneurs, or maybe about to be an entrepreneur. And I feel like that's going to be really resonant, right? Because it does call us to really answer that calling really of what we must do, and all of these things go with it. So you talk a lot about creating wealth in a way that feels fun and expansive. So what has been your biggest shift in your relationship with money?
Such a good question because I share my story all the time. So let me give like a high level version of some details and what really made like the moment when it all changed. So when I was still working in corporate America, I thought that I was really bad with money. And I would say, I'm so bad with money. And the truth is that I didn't really have, or I had like almost no relationship with money. I mean, we all have one, but my relationship with money was to avoid and like fingers crossed, hope and pray that when I swipe my card, it will go through. And I know that for years, you like literally begged me. You were like, Kaela, you need to calculate how much your student loans and medical bill debt is because it was a lot. And I was in massive resistance, thinking, I can't even count that high. So that is just going to deflate me. If I know the total of how much debt I have, all it's saying is that I'm paying it for the rest of my life. So I've just surrendered to I'm going to pay debt for the rest of my life and I'm going to be broke and I'm going to make just enough to get by. And that's really how I was feeling about life. And one day I did total it up and I found out that I had more than $100,000 of debt from student loans and medical bills. And I was receiving just enough money to pay the minimums on all my bills. I had a roommate in my apartment. I did not have a brand new car, so I was just like I was earning just enough to pay my share of rent every month and my auto insurance and my health insurance. And then my like one luxury was I had enough money to get my nails done every 3 weeks. And that was it. And I started feeling pretty down about this, feeling like, okay, I know that I have resigned myself to, I guess this is just gonna, how it's gonna have to be. But as I was sitting in that resignation, I was like, this does not feel good. Like, I am in my early 20s, and to think that I could live another 80 years feeling this way, I just don't see how that's gonna be possible for me. And so, to make a long story short, once I found the dream program, which definitely was divine intervention for a life coach program that I was going to enter in, I booked a call that I probably had no business booking because I was six figures in debt and broke, and I had no money to invest. But I booked the call anyways, and I showed up. And that woman had the audacity to tell me that the investment was $16,500, which I very much did not have. And I said yes anyway. And that was the moment when things really shifted with money because I started to see that I don't work for money. Money is not my boss, but actually, I can be a creator. I can access resources. And if I'm saying yes to this, I can find a way to create the funds for it. So that changed the game because that's exactly what I did. I figured out how to create the funds first by going more into debt and leveraging other resources. I got a personal loan, which was scary since I already had so much debt that I was just paying the minimums on and the interest was stacking up. But then in my first year of entrepreneurship, I went from being someone that was six figures in debt to now earning six figures in my first year of entrepreneurship. And I always relate it back to that moment when I said yes anyways, because I knew that I was money's boss.
Ugh, I remember watching it happen, and it did. It completely changed your experience from that point forward, and it's only gotten better, which is so, so good.
Thank you. Okay, well, let's flip the script. Let me ask you some questions. So,
Okay.
it's no figure that, or it's no wonder that I am an entrepreneur because you have been an entrepreneur for 22 years. So, there's a lot of things that shift and change in that time. What has been the biggest evolution for you throughout this 22 years of entrepreneurship?
Um, the biggest evolution for me, I would say, is this journey has been a journey of getting to know who I am, getting to know what I'm made of, right? The highs and the lows. Having accomplished things that I never imagined that I could accomplish. And really, like, I remember in my first business, the just incredible joy I had of being a visionary and creating something and watching it come to life, right? So it was almost like that experience I would say that you had with money, where I was like, whoa, like this was just a vision in my mind. It was a dream, and now all of a sudden I'm living this dream. And that taught me what is possible when we have a dream, an intention, and we just allow ourselves to like let the vision carry us, right? And so I think that that was this first incredible moment. And then resiliency. Like there were a lot of lessons I learned in that first business. Like I have my own story around money. So in our second year in business, we hit seven figures, and I hadn't yet done the transformational inner work to feel worthy of seven figures. And so I was outsourcing, just outsourcing that part of it, kind of like you were. No wonder you were that way. Because I was like, yeah, I don't really want to know. You'll take care of it. You'll manage it for me. This is great. Well, long story short, it wasn't exactly managed the way it should have been, right? So there were some hard lessons, and you were there for some of that journey. You remember it, right? Some really difficult lessons. But what that taught me was that I needed to claim my worthiness. Like walking through that experience for me was evolutionary because I was able to decide, you know what? I am worthy and I am capable of taking this business and creating it to what I want it to be and having it be successful financially as well. So, I think that those are two of like the biggest things within my first business. And then from there, it's like things just continued to evolve. And I think going through that experience, it gave me permission to be who I really am. I think I started to ask myself questions, once you were grown and my son was off to college, it was like having that experience of like, you know what, now I'm not single mom, business owner. I was also taking care of my mom who was unwell. It was like for so long, I was just sort of like juggling all these balls in the air. And then I came to a point where I was like, wait, who am I now? Right? I'm not a mom with kids at home. My mom had passed away. I made a decision to sell my first business and then go into coaching because coaching had transformed my life. It is the thing. So I got into coaching when I went through all of that, right? Is the thing that really transformed my life and helped me discover who I am. So it's been this beautiful evolutionary process. And I think being an entrepreneur is what was really like my greatest teacher or like opened up the pathway for that.
Mm. This is so good. I gotta take my sweater off. I'm just getting steamy. I'm getting so excited about all this. Okay, so something that's really unique about the way that we work that you have really led for us is that your work with clients is deeply intuitive and transformational. So, what role does intuition and energy play in creating a thriving business?
Mm. So everything. It's everything, right? You and I really teach our clients that the way to truly be successful in business is to trust your own inner knowing. And we all have it. Even if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know what you're saying, I'm not intuitive at all. You are. We all have intuition. We all have gut instincts. We all have inner knowing. And if I look back in my journey, anytime things didn't work out, it was the times that I squashed down that gut instinct, right? That inner knowing. And so what I learned is that when I prioritize that inner voice, when I prioritize that yes or no inside of me, it always guides me in the right direction. And so we teach an approach which is energy first, right? Trusting yourself, trusting your inner knowing, and really focusing on making sure that the moves you make are in alignment with your own unique energy design, right? So we spend a lot of time helping our clients really make sure that they are in what we call energetic alignment with the truth of who they are.
Amazing. Okay, so we've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs who come to us because they're ready for their next level success. What do you see as the biggest block that keeps them stuck, and how do they move past it?
Mm. I think that the biggest block that I have seen over the years is probably self doubt. It is like the thing that seems to get in the way, right? When we're questioning ourselves, when we're questioning that inner voice, we're looking for someone else to give us permission. We're doubting ourselves to make those bold moves with money and figure it out on the way. That is like the number one block that I see again and again and again that seems to trip people up. And so that's why we do really intense work helping people really reclaim their power and trust that inner voice so that they're not being stopped by that voice of self doubt inside. And I would love to ask you, Kayla, would you answer that question the same way, or how would you answer it?
I agree. Yeah, it's the way that we relate to ourselves that gets us in our way. It is like it's almost never that they don't have a good strategy because they most times we find that entrepreneurs know what to do, even if they think that they don't. It's the way that we doubt ourselves that keeps us from taking the actions that we know or would figure out what to take.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have a few more questions for you, actually. This is so fun. I love this
I
interviewing
love
each
our
other.
co-interviews. Yeah.
I think we should do some podcasts this way. This is great. Okay, so something you always say is that receiving is a skill, and I know this has been life-changing for you. Can you break it down to what does that actually mean? And why is it so important for entrepreneurs to have a skill of receiving?
Great. I actually just did a Facebook Live on this topic today, so I'm going to give you like the condensed version. But in my Facebook Live, I was talking about the difference between being a taker, a giver, and a generous receiver. And I think that people get confused thinking that being a receiver and a taker are the same things. But in fact, they're not. Taker energy is all about me. Taker energy is I'm in lack, I don't have enough, so I need more. Giver energy is all about the other person. Giver energy is don't look at me. I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I'm valuable. I kind of have pity for you. I think you need something, so I'm going to make it all about you. So taker's all about me, giver's all about you. But receiving energy is a beautiful partnership. If we are generous receivers, that means I see that I have a lot of value and worth, and I see that you do too. And so I know that we can be in this together, and that when I am generous and giving to you in a way that feels good because you're worthy of it, I also get to receive, and there's a flow and a harmony here. And this is why receiving is a skill, because what most people know to do is automatically give and take, and it's a yo-yo, honestly, some toxic energies back and forth, that like it's all about me or it's all about you, and there's not a lot of harmony. And so we have to learn this new skill. We have to be able to flex a new muscle. I think of it kind of like taking and giving is like running and walking. So it's like giving is like I'm running, I'm crushing forward, and then taking is like, and I have to collapse, I'm here. But receiving is like lifting weights. It uses different muscles, and it's starting to train our body in a different way. And so this is why it's a skill, because most of us don't realize that it's different than giving and taking. And so we don't know how to do that. But it is so life changing, because when we can be generous receivers, what that does is it puts us in a state of harmony. It allows us to see ourselves in an empowered way, therefore seeing others in a powerful way, and then puts us in relationship with ourselves and others in a way that feels so good and lets us uh, generously give and receive in a lot of harmony.
Mm. Would you say this is like a way that once people really get this and they start to have a lived experience of this, that this changes the way that they make money in their business?
1000%. It is hard to make money as a giver and a taker, uh, because takers are operating from lack. So it's really hard to make money from lack. And givers are not connected to their worth. And it's really hard to make money from worth. So if you're giving and taking, it's really hard to make money. And once you become an exceptional receiver, money's easy.
Yes. So, I know that we trust divine timing here, right? There's no like we believe that we trust divine timing, things come when they come. However, you have helped a lot of our clients create quantum leaps in their income and in their impact. So, what would you say is like the secret to kind of collapsing time and reaching results in your income faster?
Okay. I think it is moving through what I call the three steps of receiving, or the three phases of receiving, which are I need it, I want it, and oh, how fun. Most people are in I need it. I need more money. I need more clients. I need this to work. I need to make this money this month. I need to pay this bill. And when we're in need, that is closed fist energy. That's taker energy. Like, I need it. And money is not interested in going where there is a closed fist need, because it can't fit. There's no room for it. So then we can like elevate a little bit and go to, well, I just want it. I want to have this money. I want to have my dreams. I want to pay for the things I want. And I think that's kind of like having your hands around the steering wheel. Like, it's not a death grip. You can move it a little bit, but still there's not a lot of room. And ultimately, when we can get into, oh, how fun. Oh, how fun it is for me to serve these clients. Oh, how fun it is to make a difference. Oh, how fun it is to pay my bills and still have surplus and invest in XYZ. It's getting in the oh, how fun that creates quantum leaps. And I have three examples just from this week of clients so I do this coaching all the time, shifting someone from need to want to oh, how fun. And yeah, I have three examples of just this week that I shifted someone through that, and within 24 hours, they had a new client or sold something out or money hit their bank account.
Wow, I love this. Yeah, so fun. And business gets to be fun, right? Like we love what we do and our clients love what they do because it is not meant to feel like forcing or pushing or someday when we get there, right? We finally get to have fun. Like we really believe in having fun along the way. And just one more quick question for you. Like, was there a belief or an identity shift that really changed the way that you show up in your business that you haven't mentioned already?
What comes up for me when you ask that is around muchness. Like feeling like maybe before earlier times in my life, I can recall when people are like, you're so loud, or you're too bossy, or you're too this, and thinking that I need to tone myself down or be different. and instead really coming to a space of worthiness and like this is who I am, and I have and the volume that I am, and I have the ideas that I have and the drive that I have, and my willingness to celebrate who I am and show up in that way, then I'm not having to spend the energy trying to be any different. Instead, I just get to spend my energy helping other people, and then it's easy and fun.
And it's your greatest gift. I mean, thank God you are who you are because it is such a gift.
There would be so much less like scavenger hunts in our family and our business if I was not who I am.
Well, it has pushed me outside of my comfort zone, let's just say that.
Okay, so mom, you have built businesses at every level from solo entrepreneur to leading a team in a seven-figure business. What's the key to expanding without overworking, which I know you've learned the hard way?
Yeah, this is a lesson that it was a lived experience that taught me how to do it very differently. So, as I mentioned in my first business, what I knew to do when I realized, like, okay, I'm going to take back control over, my worthiness, my relationship to money, how I run this business. What I was taught at the time was just like, okay, buckle up, like, let's go. We're going to make this happen. And I did make it happen. And I was proud of that. Like, there were so many good things in it. And at the end of it, I was completely burnt out. I like had, all focus was either on my business, taking care of my family, taking care of my mom, and I completely left myself out of the equation. I was like, if there's, a few crumbs left over, maybe I'll take care of myself and get enough rest or get in a workout or something like that. And I would say that, for me, that was such a wake up call. As you'll remember, like, I literally I was like, my health got so bad. I was like scared for my life at one point, right? And so and this happened, it was kind of like after I sold my first business. I didn't realize it until I stopped long enough for my body to be like, okay, we're just going to fall apart. Um, and so what I had to learn from scratch was how to do it again, how to build a business again, and to do it in a state of expansion, in a state of receiving, in a state of allowing myself to create the life I wanted and also have the health I want and the rest I want and the vibrancy that I want to have. And so the key I would say to really doing that is mindset. It's mindset. I had to completely rewire my programming that was all about the way to make money is to work hard and push until you get there. And it was so ingrained in me. I mean, I saw my parents do it, right? So I decided to think differently. I decided that I actually could have both vibrant health, a fulfilling life, take care of myself, and be able to create an amazing, incredible business. So that's the key, right? We've got to do that inner work and we've got to change our beliefs around it because we are a reflection of what we believe.
So let's expand on that. What is one powerful mindset shift that has helped you trust yourself more as a leader to be able to do it differently?
So good. So the mindset shift is that I am worthy to have it all. I'm worthy to have the life I want to have. I don't have to earn it. Meaning, yes, sure, we do the work, right? We show up to our business, we have commitment, and I can show up in full commitment to my business, and I can do it in a state of joy. And I can show up in full commitment to my health at the same time. It's not an either or. So, the way that I build my calendar now is life first always. So when I'm looking at my week ahead, I am always scheduling time for myself, time for rest, time for my relationship, time for family. And then business gets to be scheduled along in there as well, but it's not an either or.
Yeah, that is so good. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay. So this has been so much fun. Kayla, if someone is listening right now and they know they're meant for more, but they feel stuck in fear or uncertainty, what would you say to them?
I would say that sitting on the fence is a painful place to be. Like, if we actually just imagined that proverbial white picket fence and there you are stuck on it. Like, I don't know what to do, or I know what I want to do, but I don't know if I'm willing to do it. Sitting on a fence is a painful place to be. And so you're at a choice moment and you can choose to hop off the fence and go either direction. And there's no judgment. On one path, if you hop off the fence, you could walk back towards more of what you know, which is probably more comfort zone, how life is. And sometimes we choose that. And it's not bad or wrong to choose that. It's seeing that we actually are able to choose it. It's not we're not a victim to our circumstances. We can go back to our comfort zone and more of what we know, and there's power in getting to choose it. And we have another choice, which is to hop off the fence and walk into the unknown. Walk into a path where we've never been here before, we've never taken this trail, maybe there is no trail, and yet we trust ourselves. We trust that we've got our back and that we can really keep going and allowing ourselves to be supported on this journey because we don't have to lone wolf it. And we feel the calling towards something greater. And if we keep taking one foot in front of the other, we're going to find what that is.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's your biggest piece of advice for the entrepreneurs who are ready for their next level success? They are like, yes, I've decided I'm ready. What would you say?
Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. We have to go. We can't be sitting on the fence and sitting on the fence and sitting on the fence. And so we take a step and then we take another step. And that is how we move into next level success without the gripping attachment. It has to go a certain way. We just start walking.
This
Yeah,
is so
Lisa.
good. Yes, walking, right? Not running and crashing, not stopping and starting. It's just like a daily stroll and it's one step forward. And that is like the fastest path to success, I would
Yeah,
say.
it really is. So, you and I both know that success is an inside job. What's one daily practice that helps you stay in alignment and open to receiving?
My morning practice, hands down. Like, this is so important to me that I have that time in the morning. I get up anywhere 5:30, and grab my cup of coffee and I go upstairs. And that this is my time to receive, to make sure that I'm doing my own inner work. I have some energetic practices I do. And it fuels me. Like I start my day so clear, so energized, so ready that we were just talking about this inside of our mastermind community is like, you're for those of you who want to be a leader and you're all entrepreneurs, right? So when we want to step into our greatest level, our own leadership, we have to make sure that our self-care practices are in direct alignment with how much impact we want to make, because it's everything, right? It's the source where all of that creativity comes from. And so I think it's really important.
I agree with you. The morning ritual is everything. I like to compare it to that is like when a pilot first gets on the plane and they have their clipboard and they're checking all the gauges and levers and things. We would never want a pilot to say, "Oh, kind of behind today. I got my cup of coffee. Let's just go. I'll check that thing later." But we do it all the time as humans. We're just like, "Oh, I'm busy, gotta go."
Yep,
And we cannot skip. That morning ritual is what lets us fly the plane through the day. So I totally agree. Okay,
absolutely.
we are about to kick off our free masterclass series that we're super excited about. It's called Cash Clients. Can you share why we're so excited about this and what people can expect?
Absolutely. So we want to show you a different way to receive, right? Whether you're talking about receiving clients, receiving income in your business. And, we hinted to this already a little bit. So Kayla and I teach a method called the Divine Profit Method. And what we teach is that it is energetic alignment plus your inspired actions that create the divine results you experience in your life. And so you're going to get a taster of that inside of this masterclass where we're going to show you that it's actually these really extremely important energetic strategies you use that are going to be that like 80% of the results that you create will be in direct alignment from that.
Mm.
So
I Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I want you to say a little bit more about it in a second here because I think I just want everyone to have an idea of what else we're going to be doing. But I just want to say, like, this has been so much fun. I love that Kaela, that you and I got to share this conversation with the audience today. And I hope that it gave you all permission to dream bigger, to receive more, and to really fully trust yourself on this journey.
I fully agree. And if you are ready to take this work even deeper, then you must join us for our upcoming masterclass series, Cash Cash Clients. So, do you remember as a kid playing Duck Duck Goose? That game is all about chasing, which is actually what many of us do in business when we don't know another way. But what if instead of chasing, you could learn to attract and receive? So during Cash Cash Clients, we're going to show you how to do that, how to tap into your best receiving powers and unlock the energetics and the strategy that allows money and clients and opportunity to flow right to you.
So if you are ready to flourish at the intersection of joy, wealth, and health, you need to be there, right? You just need to be there. Just make it happen. You can register using the link in the show notes below this video. And we can't wait to spend that time with you. Kaela, this was so much fun. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. Please keep going after your biggest dreams and practice remembering you do truly get to have it all.
That was so fun. I hope that you've enjoyed getting to know both Lisa and I a little bit better. And your wheels are turning about how it is that you can step into what's next for you. So I want to remind you of the ways that you can connect with us now. Of course, we have this podcast, which you're listening to, so you can become a subscriber and listen to any of the places that you listen to podcasts. We also have a book available on Amazon and a free Facebook group, all by the same name as this podcast. So it's Live Your Yes Life. So head over to Amazon and to Facebook to connect with us there. And we would love to get on a Yes Life activation call with you, which we open up a few spots for every month. This is your chance you'll get on the phone with one of us or an amazing coach on our team, where we're going to be able to support you in figuring out what really is calling to you right now. What are you ready to be a yes for? And make the plan of how you can actually get there yourself.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We hope we'll see you next week on the Live Your Yes Life podcast.